In 1992, you were off to the Olympic Games in Spain. What do you remember about qualifying for the games back in 92?
I actually was pretty fortunate. I qualified in 91. So I had a good period of time to focus on training. At that time, I had graduated from Warwick Academy and was headed to the Petty School really to focus on swimming and stay in school somewhat. So I had qualified, and my focus and my priority was on swimming competitively in Barcelona when I got there.
You arrived in Spain. What was your first impression of the village once you arrived there?
Having competed at the Commonwealth Games and Pan Am Games prior, it was more excitement than being overwhelmed. Of course, it's really quite an environment full of energy, positive energy, athletes ready to compete, and some of the names and faces that you read about and perhaps in other sports that you think, oh my goodness, am I among these celebrities? But yeah, really, really quite fascinating.
You get to warm up and get into your events. What was those mornings like before participating, or before you had to compete in your particular event? Because one thing about swimming, they schedule, then there's a break, and then there's finals and all that. So what was the mornings like in preparing for your events?
So we actually trained in Wales prior to going over to Barcelona because we didn't have a 50-meter pool. We trained at Bassa in the 25-meter pool. So we had been in Wales. We flew into Barcelona a few days. Just of course, swimming's the first day. So we were able to get into the pool prior, but the opening ceremonies is the day before. So we became familiar with the pool, and then the heats I swam, I believe it was on day 2. And so it was relatively familiar. And again, the exposure at other games is absolutely critical. So we had the routine, we knew what we needed to do, and our focus was on performing and less distracted with who else was in the pool at the time.
Yeah. How would you say the Olympics, your Olympic experience, defined you as a person?
I think the sport of swimming had the most impact on my development, and then the Olympics followed. The sport of swimming is very much about discipline. There are a lot of hours in the pool. It takes a lot of focus. It was instrumental in a philosophy that I carry around everything's possible. That seed was planted by my coach, Gareth Davies, at a very young age. I think I was 11. And, we both were working toward that goal. And so the Olympics really was the achievement and the celebration of that goal before going on to university.
If you can say one thing, what would be that standout moment of the 92 games that you would remember forever and ever?
I think there are probably two. The first is obviously preparing for my event, that moment before the event, and just stepping up and realizing that the moment is here. And then 1 minute, almost 14 seconds later, it's over. And there you have it at the end of the heats. But another highlight, I had the opportunity of training with a number of swimmers prior to the Olympics at Petty, and Nelson Diebel, who won the gold at the Olympics and set the Olympic record, is somebody who I trained with, as I said, and considered a good friend. So it really was a small swimming world at that time, and still is.
Well, I want to thank you on behalf of the Bermuda Olympic Association for being a Bermuda Olympian. There's no former, because once you've been, you will always be an Olympian. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for recognizing it, and I hope that in some small way it inspires others.
All right. Thank you very much.